What is Tawatawa, and how can it be used in human life? Tawatawa, also known as Euphorbia hirta, is a plant native to tropical regions, particularly in Asia, Australia, and Africa. It's commonly used in traditional medicine for various purposes due to its medicinal properties. Here's a brief overview of its uses. In the context of respiratory health, Tawatawa, or Euphorbia hirta, is believed to offer several potential benefits. Cough relief. Tawatawa is commonly used to alleviate coughs, particularly those associated with respiratory infections such as colds and flu. It is believed to have expectorant properties, which means it may help loosen and expel mucus from the respiratory tract, making it easier to cough up. Asthma management. Some traditional medicine systems use Tawatawa to manage asthma symptoms. While scientific evidence is limited, it's thought that the plant's anti-inflammatory properties may help reduce inflammation in the airways, potentially easing breathing difficulties associated with asthma. Bronchitis support. Tawatawa is also used to treat bronchitis, an inflammation of the bronchial tubes that carry air to the lungs. Its expectorant properties may help clear mucus from the bronchial passages, providing relief from symptoms such as coughing and chest congestion. Respiratory infection treatment. In traditional medicine, Tawatawa is sometimes used to combat respiratory infections caused by bacteria or viruses. Its antimicrobial properties may help fight off pathogens responsible for respiratory illnesses, though more research is needed to confirm its effectiveness. It's important to note that while Tawatawa has a long history of use in traditional medicine for respiratory ailments, scientific evidence supporting its efficacy is limited, and its safety profile is not well established. If you're considering using Tawatawa or any herbal remedy for respiratory health purposes, it's best to consult with a healthcare professional first, especially if you have any pre-existing medical conditions or are taking medications. Tawatawa, also known as Euphorbia hirta, is sometimes used in traditional medicine to promote digestive health. Here are some ways in which it may be utilized for digestive purposes. Diarrhea management. Tawatawa is often employed to help manage diarrhea. It is believed to possess anti-diarrheal properties, which may help reduce the frequency and severity of loose stools. The plant is thought to act by regulating intestinal motility and reducing inflammation in the digestive tract. Dysentery treatment. In traditional medicine systems, Tawatawa is also used to treat dysentery, a gastrointestinal condition characterized by inflammation of the intestines, often accompanied by severe diarrhea containing blood or mucus. Its purported anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties may help alleviate symptoms and promote recovery from dysentery. Stomachache relief. Tawatawa may be used to alleviate stomachaches or abdominal discomfort. Its traditional use suggests that it may help soothe the digestive system and relieve pain associated with gastrointestinal disturbances. Digestive tonic. Some traditional medicine practitioners consider Tawatawa to be a digestive tonic, meaning it is believed to support overall digestive function and promote gastrointestinal health. Regular consumption of Tawatawa preparations, such as teas or infusions, may be recommended to maintain digestive well-being. It's important to note that while Tawatawa has been used historically for digestive purposes, scientific evidence supporting its effectiveness is limited, and its safety profile is not well understood. As with any herbal remedy, it's advisable to consult with a healthcare professional before using Tawatawa for digestive health concerns, especially if you have underlying medical conditions or are taking medications. Additionally, if you experience persistent or severe digestive symptoms, it's important to seek medical attention for proper diagnosis and treatment. Tawatawa, or Euphorbia hirta, is believed to possess anti-inflammatory properties, which may contribute to its traditional use in various cultures for managing inflammation-related conditions. Here's how it might be utilized for its anti-inflammatory effects. Arthritis relief. Tawatawa is sometimes used to alleviate symptoms of arthritis, a condition characterized by inflammation of the joints. Its anti-inflammatory properties may help reduce joint pain, swelling, and stiffness associated with arthritis, although scientific evidence supporting its efficacy in this regard is limited. Skin inflammation. Tawatawa preparations, such as topical applications or poultices, may be used to soothe skin inflammation caused by conditions such as eczema, dermatitis, or insect bites. Its anti-inflammatory properties may help reduce redness, itching, and swelling associated with these skin irritations. Internal inflammation. Some traditional medicine systems use Tawatawa to address internal inflammation in conditions such as gastritis, inflammation of the stomach lining, or colitis, inflammation of the colon. By reducing inflammation in the digestive tract, Tawatawa may help alleviate symptoms such as abdominal pain and discomfort. Respiratory inflammation. In addition to its respiratory benefits mentioned earlier, Tawatawa's anti-inflammatory properties may help reduce inflammation in the airways, providing relief from respiratory conditions such as asthma or bronchitis, where inflammation plays a key role in symptoms. While Tawatawa has been traditionally used for its anti-inflammatory properties, it's important to note that scientific evidence supporting its efficacy is limited, and more research is needed to confirm its effectiveness and safety. As with any herbal remedy, it's advisable to consult with a healthcare professional before using Tawatawa for inflammation-related conditions, especially if you have underlying medical conditions or are taking medications. Additionally, if you experience persistent or severe inflammation, it's important to seek medical attention for proper evaluation and treatment. Tawatawa, also known as Euphorbia hirta, is believed to possess antimicrobial properties, which means it may have the ability to inhibit the growth of certain microorganisms, including bacteria and fungi. Here's how it might be utilized for its antimicrobial effects. Respiratory infections. Tawatawa is sometimes used in traditional medicine to help fight respiratory infections caused by bacteria or viruses. Its antimicrobial properties may help inhibit the growth of pathogens responsible for conditions such as colds, flu, bronchitis, and sinus infections. Consuming Tawatawa preparations, such as teas or decoctions, may be recommended to support the body's immune response to respiratory infections. Gastrointestinal infections. In addition to respiratory infections, Tawatawa may also be used to combat gastrointestinal infections caused by bacteria, parasites, or other microorganisms. Its antimicrobial properties may help reduce the growth of pathogens in the digestive tract, potentially alleviating symptoms of infections such as diarrhea, dysentery, and gastroenteritis. Skin infections. Tawatawa preparations, when applied topically, may help treat skin infections caused by bacteria or fungi. Its antimicrobial properties may help inhibit the growth of pathogens on the skin surface, providing relief from conditions such as bacterial skin infections, fungal infections, such as ringworm or athlete's foot, or skin conditions exacerbated by microbial growth. Wound healing. Tawatawa's antimicrobial properties may also contribute to its traditional use in promoting wound healing. By inhibiting the growth of bacteria and other harmful microorganisms in wounds, Tawatawa preparations may help prevent infection and support the body's natural healing processes. While Tawatawa has a history of traditional use for its antimicrobial properties, scientific evidence supporting its efficacy in this regard is limited, and more research is needed to confirm its effectiveness and safety. As with any herbal remedy, it's advisable to consult with a healthcare professional before using Tawatawa for antimicrobial purposes, especially if you have underlying medical conditions or are taking medications. Additionally, if you have a severe infection, it's important to seek medical attention for proper diagnosis and treatment. To make an infusion or tea with Tawatawa, you'll need dried Tawatawa leaves or stems and hot water. Here's a simple method to prepare it. Ingredients: dried Tawatawa leaves or stems, about 1 to 2 teaspoons per cup of water. Instructions: bring water to a boil in a pot or kettle. While the water is heating, measure out the desired amount of dried Tawatawa leaves or stems. Place the dried Tawatawa leaves or stems in a teapot or heat-proof container. Once the water reaches a rolling boil, pour it over the Tawatawa leaves or stems in the teapot. Cover the teapot and let the Tawatawa steep in the hot water for about 5 to 10 minutes. Steeping time can vary depending on your preference for strength and taste. After the steeping time is up, strain the Tawatawa leaves or stems from the liquid using a fine mesh strainer or tea infuser. Pour the infused Tawatawa tea into cups and serve hot. You can drink Tawatawa tea as is or sweeten it with honey or sugar if desired. It's typically recommended to consume herbal teas like Tawatawa in moderation, especially if you're using them for medicinal purposes. If you're unsure about the appropriate dosage or have any concerns, it's best to consult with a healthcare professional before using Tawatawa tea or any herbal remedy. To prepare a decoction with Tawatawa, you'll need dried Tawatawa leaves or stems, water, and a pot. Here's how you can make a decoction. Ingredients: dried Tawatawa leaves or stems, about 1 to 2 tablespoons per cup of water. Instructions: place the dried Tawatawa leaves or stems in a pot. Add water to the pot, using about 1 to 2 cups of water for every tablespoon of dried Tawatawa leaves or stems. Bring the water to a boil over medium to high heat. Once the water reaches a rolling boil, reduce the heat to low to maintain a gentle simmer. Allow the Tawatawa leaves or stems to simmer in the water for about 10 to 15 minutes. This will allow the active compounds in the plant to infuse into the liquid. After simmering, remove the pot from the heat and let the decoction cool down slightly. Strain the liquid using a fine mesh strainer or cheesecloth to separate the Tawatawa leaves or stems from the decoction. Pour the strained decoction into a cup or container for storage. You can drink the Tawatawa decoction warm or let it cool down to room temperature before consumption. If desired, you can sweeten it with honey or sugar to improve the taste. It's typically recommended to consume herbal decoctions like Tawatawa in moderation and to consult with a healthcare professional before using them, especially if you have any underlying health conditions or are taking medications. To apply Tawatawa topically, you'll need Tawatawa leaves or stems, and depending on the specific application, you may need additional materials such as carrier oils or bandages. Here's a general method for preparing and applying Tawatawa topically. Harvest or obtain fresh Tawatawa leaves or stems. You can collect fresh Tawatawa leaves or stems from the plant if it's available in your area. Alternatively, you may be able to purchase dried Tawatawa leaves from herbal stores or online suppliers. Prepare the Tawatawa leaves or stems. If using fresh Tawatawa, wash the leaves or stems thoroughly with clean water to remove any dirt or debris. If using dried Tawatawa, you can skip this step. Crush or bruise the Tawatawa leaves or stems. To release the beneficial compounds from the plant material, gently crush or bruise the leaves or stems. You can do this by rolling them between your palms or using a mortar and pestle. Apply the crushed Tawatawa directly to the affected area. If using Tawatawa for skin conditions or wounds, apply the crushed leaves or stems directly to the affected area. You can cover the area with a clean bandage or gauze to keep the Tawatawa in place. Make a Tawatawa poultice. Alternatively, you can make a poultice by mixing the crushed Tawatawa with a small amount of water to form a paste. Apply the paste directly to the affected area and cover it with a clean cloth or bandage. Leave the Tawatawa on the skin. Allow the Tawatawa to remain on the skin for a specified period, typically 15 to 30 minutes. You can then rinse it off with warm water if desired. Monitor for any adverse reactions. While Tawatawa is generally considered safe for topical use, it's essential to monitor the skin for any signs of irritation or allergic reactions. If you experience any adverse effects, discontinue use and consult a healthcare professional. Repeat is needed. You can repeat the topical application of Tawatawa as needed, depending on the severity of the condition being treated. It's important to note that while Tawatawa has been traditionally used topically for various skin conditions, scientific evidence supporting its effectiveness is limited. If you have any concerns or underlying skin conditions, it's best to consult with a healthcare professional before using Tawatawa topically. It's essential to note that while Tawatawa has been traditionally used for medicinal purposes, scientific evidence supporting its efficacy and safety is limited. As with any herbal remedy, it's advisable to consult with a healthcare professional before using Tawatawa, especially if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, or have any underlying health conditions.